What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it is time to lean in, bitch. Welcome back, Chad. We're here for Legendary episodes 9 and 10, which are basically the season finales. We're going to talk about it. It's late in Atlanta, child. Thank you for doing this today, Chad.
It is late, honey. Oh, it is late.
it's like, what is it, 1 o'clock, 1:14
It,
a.m. there?
it's 1:15, child. You got me up past my bedtime. My man in the bed sleep. He said I can't even get in the bed,
Now,
so
you know you
I'm
don't have no
blaming I'm
bedtime,
blaming
man.
you.
Cause what you really trying to get online? I bet you probably got all your posts ready for this. All these female rappers and drop to. Chad, it's finna be a mess. If you follow Chad, you know Chad is a mess. So you know in the morning it's gonna be a whole lot of mess
Oh
on
my
these
God.
posts. But we're here for Legendary. We're gonna talk about the last two episodes as the season is now complete. So this is the last time you'll see us, at least for this show. So let's get into it. Episode 9. Of course, episode 7 was like, I feel like the highlight. It was episode 7 and 8 were the highlights of the season. Mainly because
hmm
one of the best houses went home and did some of the the drama that went on, but it was a little bit of drama in this episode. This episode was
It
the
was.
Electric Jungle Ball, and Tiffany Haddish was the guest judge this week. And
hmm
so before we get into the performances, you see Tiffany Haddish on the screen. What did you think about Tiffany Haddish as a judge?
I actually really enjoyed Tiffany Haddish, and it could be a little biased because I have a little soft spot for Tiffany Haddish. I really think that she's dope. I think that she represents what so many I think she represents what so many black people have a problem with, and I hate to say that, but I feel like she represents like that girl that we pull respectability politics out for. But I love Tiffany Haddish. I think that she is herself. I think she's so unique in her own right, and she does her. I loved her as a judge. I thought she added a much needed um, just a much needed, more realistic take on the judging. I felt like it was like at the end of the day, this what I said, and that's how I feel. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever.
So you feel like she gave you the essence of ballroom judging,
Yeah,
a
and if
more
you
a
look,
more of an unapologetic way of, because I get what you're
yeah,
saying. I do that when you bring it into that perspective. She was very like, I didn't like it, and or well,
yeah,
not even like that, because Megan does that too. I feel like Megan does. They all have a sense of that, but she was kind of basically like saying, I'm the judge. So my take on it, I thought she was okay. Um, I didn't really. I knew I wasn't gonna really fear her like that when she started out with, she's big on energy and she wanted to see the language between energy, because she basically said the same thing twice, and I'm like, okay,
hmm
where are you going with this? I mean, it was early at the beginning, but I would have rather her some more, something that at least sounded like it made sense, and I was just like, oh boy, Tiffany Haddish finna be a fool on this panel. That's just my opinion.
I
I
think she was a little. I think she was a little drunk too.
She was definitely a lot of things. She was probably a little drunk. She was a little extra, which is fine. That's Tiffany Haddish. I didn't expect anything different in that
That's her.
aspect, but that's her. Tiffany Haddish was definitely on the panel. I'll say she was there.
She was on
Um,
the panel.
I liked her look. I think
I loved
Law
her
is
look.
her stylist,
Yeah.
so I found that to be a little interesting, and I feel like that's why some things happened the way it did, because they do have their relationship. When I actually sat there and
hmm
thought about it, but let's get into the actual, because we're gonna talk about her some more. This episode, like I said, Electric Jungle Ball. There were three elements involved that each group had to incorporate. The Superior House had to assign them, right, and so they
hmm
assigned every house their element. And I didn't really understand the whole bizarre effect incorporation. Me personally, I understand what it is, but I didn't get what they were like. What I didn't get the incorporation of it. Maybe you did. Did you feel like you got that from the houses?
I
Like,
didn't get the incorporation of it, but I did understand what they were going for. Um, I think it was maybe Jamila that pointed out on, was it to the House of Balenciaga, where they were saying that the focus was supposed to be on, yeah, it was Balenciaga because Shannon was the only one in like a not regular outfit, but it was more so it stood out so much as to where the person that they were supposed to be focusing on was not actually the focal point. So I
Well,
understood it, but it was kind of confusing.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I completely agree. Um, so okay, let's go into the first house. So the first house was Mugler, and Mugler had they gave themselves hair, was it hair flips,
Yeah.
and I like what they did. I mean, I like their breeding incorporation. I got it immediately. They even had like the little
Hmm.
beat kind of playing at the beginning. Um,
Yeah.
and at first, I was kind of worried for the house father. Is it Arturo? That's it, right?
Arturo.
Arturo. Okay. I was worried because of his look. You know, they tried something different a while ago with the stuff on his
Hmm.
face, and they didn't like it. So I was like, they
Yeah.
probably gonna like this either. But they actually liked it, and I was like, this
Yeah.
is actually. I thought it was a
Not
gag,
as
but this is
Yeah, but it wasn't as cute, or it wasn't as, I felt the same
yeah,
way. I felt like I really was like, this is the commentary that Slaw should have got.
right. I completely
Yeah.
agree, and this is I think that is really what pushed them over. I think they like. I think obviously they
Hmm.
were clean. We always say they're clean, but I think what pushed them over was
Yes.
him coming out and that. I did like that somebody said that it probably wasn't the best to do hair, but I mean Leon was living, so I mean,
And,
do you
she the
think the
only
performance
person
was good?
commentary we care about.
Right.
I thought the performance was okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like you
Okay.
said, the Muglears are always clean.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I love about their house. They're, regardless of whether it's boring, whether it's up, whether it's down, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
always be very precise, always gonna be very clean. So I love that aspect. But the performance itself was not my favorite. I thought it was okay, just
Yeah.
okay.
I thought it was okay. I thought I feel like the tree or whatever he was kind of pulled them over.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
so I mean, and it worked. That's fine. But moving into Balenciaga, Balenciaga had spins and dips. And what I had down, I just said it was okay. I felt like Honey being a very small person, they maybe should have utilized her towards the front or in the middle. Like
Hmm.
I feel like with formations, it needs to like be even, and she's so little, and so she was in the
Yeah,
back. So I feel like just that kind of threw me off a little bit.
yeah.
And
Visually, it looked a little off.
I kind of felt like Laomi. I didn't when I was looking for spins and dips. I felt like it was like okay. So when Laomi wasn't impressed, I was like, well, I guess I'm feeling right because I really didn't. I didn't get it. And then like, did you have any thoughts for them or no?
Okay, I can hear you now.
My
I think I
bad.
had like a little I had a little slight delay, but no, the Balenciagas, they were okay as well. I guess I have to say the same thing. It wasn't as exciting. I didn't feel like it had, the Balenciagas normally, like Garcon, they kind of have a moment with each performance most times, and I didn't really get a
Yeah.
moment factor from it. And I actually kind of, not gonna lie, I love the Balenciagas. That was my house I was rooting for, but I was kind of bored. I was
Yeah.
actually kind of bored with the performance.
I agree. I completely agree. Like it was just I just put it was okay. You know, that's what
Yeah,
I
it was
put.
like last three.
And
I
they
felt
got
like I
low
wanted
scores. Who gave that six? Was
the.
did Tiffany had it? Tiffany had gave him a six. I was
Yes, she
like,
was not. Look, I think all of us gagged collectively. I was like, I think we all was like, what the hell?
that was the first judge to give a score
That low.
that low. Well, I don't know if it was that low, but on her own, because she went second. I put them in order as they went,
Yeah,
and so she really was going by what she. I think she was solely going by what she felt. I can say,
yeah,
and I have not gotten that from any of the other judges, guest judges this season. They all feel like
yeah,
they were feeding off everybody else. She really said no or yes,
yeah,
and there was just that. So I do appreciate that. I do.
yeah.
Now was she right? No, but but in this case, a six was whatever. And then the shade that Law threw at Honey was like, "How the shoes this week?" I'm like, "Law girl, let it go, honey. They were
Oh,
not your shoes."
she wasn't gonna let it go. But I'm glad you brought that up because somebody I respect very much in Ballroom is Father Harold Balenciaga, and I read a comment on a post on a post of someone else's, and they were talking about lost contradictions, and he made the comment. He was like, Honey isn't allowed to say that she didn't like the shoes; they were ugly. But a few weeks before, and because Law was saying that it was disrespectful to the stylists and the people who work hard, this, that, and the third. And Harold pointed out, he was like, but it's okay for you to say that Tati looked like a flight attendant in those pants and those shoes. And also, he talked about the Tishi's shoes. I forgot who it was on the Tishi's, but he talked
Oh,
about
at
their
the
shoes.
beginning. Or he talked
Yeah.
about he talked about them too, but he did definitely talk about the Mugleras in their gray. He said it's a very dull gray. Oh,
No,
you
no,
know
no.
that's some
The Muglears wasn't in the grade.
who had that gray on?
It was the House of Icon, or was it the House of Lux? I think it was Lux,
He
because
read
the
them
Lux
down.
had the yes. So it's almost like, how can you really get upset at Honey for having a comment, about her shoes being ugly? And mind you, they asked Honey how she felt, or what she was feeling or whatever, and that was her
That's true.
response. So it was just like, the contradictions are not cute, they're not fun. So it's like, when you really dissect the show from points like that, it's almost like it's not cool that the contradictions be coming up. So yeah, law needs to get the contradiction in order, in my opinion.
Well, I feel like in real time, like he's still like probably shook from Simone because Simone definitely didn't have it. I mean, and he wanted to, I know we're going back, but he wanted to get what he wanted to say out to her, and she was like, "Girl, I'm not here," and she walked off. So I feel like that kind of hurt his little ego because I know on this show I feel like he feels like he is the queen bee, and
I agree.
I think he thinks that, and it's just like that person is Laomi, which he kept trying to point out this episode. I found this to be so
Hmm.
funny. Um, but I do want to say that Honey is ironic that the shoes were great today, but she actually I think she slipped and fell, or she slipped a part of this episode. It's like when the part of the performance when they kind of ran on the box and ran around the box and jumped on it off a little bit. I feel like I saw her slip. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I'll have to go back and check it.
You can never really tell in ball because sometimes you think they didn't fail and try, they actually meant to foul, meant to be a dip. So I don't really know. Maybe I saw it wrong. But moving into Garcon, and this was their look. This was their performance. They had flow performance. I did not like this performance at all.
Me either.
I put nope and I put yikes. I didn't like the voiceovers in it. I didn't like the concept. I thought it was very slow, very remedial. I just
Very
felt like it
slow.
was like for it to be top three. It's like this is if they
A
had did this
beginner's
earlier,
performance.
it was yeah. I just don't know. I put down. I just don't really know how they let them get to the top because that was like a slap in the face to like Tishi, and I mean even the Orichis like it wasn't good. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on your side with this. I felt like, I don't remember if it was me and you discussing it or if I was discussing it with somebody else, but they made a comment that the Garcons just move very slow.
I said that they move very
Okay,
slow.
so when I watched this episode, I that literally played in my head while I was watching it. Like, all I could see was they moved very slow, and it wasn't a slow. Like, I feel like the Muglears could do well with a slow performance because of how crisp and precise they are
Yeah,
and clean. The
and they did.
Garcons to me are the Garcons to me just don't. I don't know. They're a strong house, but they just, the
I
slowness
think
doesn't work for
as
them.
a group, they don't seem together. They have never really seemed to be together, other than like the first two performances. I
Okay.
think Stasha carries them. I think that individually in categories, they got some rank, but as a group, and maybe it just goes to how they were selected. I don't feel like they. I feel like they just kind of put them together. They don't seem
Yeah.
like they gel together. I don't get that family vibe from them at all. I know Stasha's the mother, but even then, like it seems to be a disconnect, and it comes across in their performances and the choreography. I was watching, I think, sibling rivalry or watching something on YouTube, and they were talking about like, oh, a comment. They were talking about how they do the choreography, and they said that
Hmm.
basically most of the houses have their hands in the choreography, but some they require a little more help. It comes from Tanisha, whoever choreographs. I feel
Tanisha
like
Scott.
Tanisha Scott. I think she choreographs their stuff, and they kind of struggle with it with choreography. That's what I feel.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can
because
see
compared to
that.
like Mugler and then Tishi, and even with Balenciaga, like I feel like not Honey, Shannon may not do much, but you can tell like they kind of
Is she
probably
still
have more.
embedded in everything?
Yeah, she may sit back and be like, yeah, not that, not this, but I feel like the other four they come together and they have more of a voice in their choreography, and I think that's what hinders Garcon. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
Yes. Stasha is
uh,
definitely the star of
yeah,
Garthon.
and Naomi is the only person that she gave him a 7. Naomi herself said no. She was like it's kind of boring or whatever, and whatever she said. And so I just felt like this was proof that they just giving him anything because they gave him a 9. They gave him somebody gave him a 10.
Yeah.
Somebody gave them a 10, and I don't know who
Hmm.
it is, but I want to say it was Jamila or was it Jamila or was it Megan?
I look, you want to say it was Megan.
Yeah, This is proof that y'all is giving them anything, and they have. This is like the third time they have been given high scores. Even the people in the back was like, like that was not. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So anyway, they got. I don't know what their final score was. I only got 4 scores out of 5, but yeah. So at this point, the rankings were Mugler, Garcon, and then
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga, and I'm like, oh shit, Balenciaga had 35. So I'm like, what's gonna happen? So there's 3 more categories, and the first category was tag team version Vogue. Now this is where I got pissed off. Okay, this is where I got really pissed off. So this is where they do old Vogue and new Vogue, and I love
Yes,
to see old Vogue. I really do.
I do too.
I enjoy it more, but I do like I like this category. So the first tag team was Khalik and Honey. And I'm gonna tell you, Honey ate it the fuck up. I'm sorry. She ate it the fuck up. Now,
Ate it
I
the
do
fuck up.
agree that Khalik did not give an award winning performance, but I don't think they should have been chopped.
I thought that they both did a great job. I thought that they fed off each other well. I do think that Honey may have stood out a little more, and
Of course.
it made Khalik look a little more basic in terms of them both. But I thought that they ate it together. I thought they fed off each other well, and like you said, they should not have been chopped.
They should have not been
Tiffany,
chopped.
listen, I love you, Tiffany, but girl, you tried it. You
There was
tried it
there
with
was
that chop.
I was mad. I'm like, I could not, but I feel like Stasha last week. Like,
Right.
girl, I was like, oh my god, like no, they
Yeah.
should have not been a chop. And so then you move into Garcon, who had Milan, and who was the other person? I didn't write. I didn't get the name down. Who was the other person that walked?
Milan and who walked with Milan? Was it Egypt?
Maybe
Because yeah, it
I
had to
think
be because it wasn't Tonka, it wasn't Sasha, and it
it
wasn't
wasn't
Savion.
Sabian. Yeah, so I guess it was, but they were chopped as well. And I was just like, they could have been.
I was okay. Look, I
I
was
was
okay with
okay
them
with
being
that.
chopped.
But then it came down to the Mugleras, and it was Malik and Prince, and they, obviously like they made it through. They didn't get chopped, and this is where I'm like, how we talk about how they got to produce a show. If they were really producing the show, they wouldn't have chopped every damn body. This is the second time they've chopped everybody, and I get it. But most
It was
times when
no
they do
battle.
this, right? Well, most times when they do this, like it's like it's taken away. Like they shouldn't even chop the first people. So I don't know.
I agree.
The Mooglears, I'm happy for them, but I really think I would have loved to seen a battle. This was a good
Yes,
category, a
I really
very
wanted
interesting
them to
category,
battle.
but they didn't. So Mooglears, go ahead, love it. And this is where they confronted Tiffany, and I'm glad that they asked her ass. So what was that about? Like, what's going on with that? And she was just like, I didn't like it. I like old
Yeah,
school. I like old school Vogue, and back in
look,
1990 they was getting it, and she
uh-huh.
wasn't getting it. And
She
I'm
was
like,
look, she was not backing down. I thought she was doing a little much, but I said, you know what? If that's how she feel, I'm gonna let it go, child.
what I didn't like about, I didn't like how I felt like they were for her as a guest judge. She obviously, whether they asked her to do it, whether she decided to do it, she's giving her time to the show. So I think it's very rude when you kind of belittle what someone else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
honestly, Law, you're the wrong person to be telling somebody that they like to be questioning anybody. All of y'all, except for Naomi, nobody has the resume.
ballroom expertise,
So
right?
I found it very interesting when he was asking Naomi, "What you think?" I'm like, "Oh, now you want to ask what she think? You should have asked what she was thinking when you was going giving Honey that low score over them damn shoes. Like in general,
Right.
like come on now, let's not call for help when you need somebody to back you up. Like come on now." So I found
I
it really
agree.
interesting. Do you have anything to add to that?
Excuse me, child.
I know it's
Um,
late, child. It's late.
look, look, I'm over here yawning, trying to look cute and yawning, but nah. I mean, I feel the same way. I just felt like, they be. I made a Facebook post about it earlier. I felt like they belittled her in a sense, and I didn't like it. I thought that it
Yeah, I didn't
was.
like that.
I thought that it was. It felt like they knew that. I guess past weeks that they have been looking like the bad guys in a sense, and I felt like they used Tiffany as like the scapegoat to soften them up. Like I just didn't really care for how it all played out. On TV, it made it seem like, well, if y'all got it all together and y'all gonna silence the guest judge, then don't have no guest judge on here.
Exactly, because
It's
y'all
a
didn't do it
it's
to
a waste
nobody
of
else.
time. Yeah, y'all didn't do it to nobody else, so I just didn't like it.
Y'all didn't crucify whoever it was that chopped the green in the hands category
Your
last
hand
week.
right. So,
So I mean,
just pay
I
it.
agree. No, I agree. But I will say Megan was over Tiffany, honey. Tiffany was over.
She was.
I was like,
It
because
was
I
it
didn't
was
know
it
it was
got
getting.
listen, it got to a point to where it got cringy. Like it was a tense cringiness to it. And I was like, what's about
Yeah,
to happen?
is this where Naomi stood up and was like by being disrespectful or something like that? I can't remember which part was
No, it
that
was
was
it was
later.
at the end when it was when they battled.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. You sure that when she stood up?
Yeah, that's when they battled and she was talking about Honey being thinking she was, had an ego and thinking she was too much and that bitch and all that. And Tiffany got ready to Tiffany asked, I didn't understand your critique, and that's when Law was like, she was like, it's
No,
ballroom,
not
this is
that part.
ballroom.
It was another part where she. I think this was the part. I didn't write that. They were going back and forth, and she kind of stood up and was like talking about like she got a. I think this was it. This was it. I think this was it because they were coming at her. If you notice, she didn't say anything. It was really just them three, Jamila, and Law and Megan, that were going at Tiffany about the chop or whatever. But I don't.
Yeah, you're
I think
right.
this was the part where she stood up and was like some about being disrespect. It was some. I know what you're talking about, but she did stand up and say something. I can't even remember. I should have written down,
Yeah,
child. But I'm glad she did that. Naomi didn't get. Keynote, she did not get involved. Clearly, they asked her opinion. She gave her opinion. No, she should have been chopped. She was not going to sit here and go back and forth with this girl. Like at this point,
right,
like this is supposed to be, ballroom with a slash of professionalism. Like let's not do her like that. I
right.
applaud her for that. So yeah, the next category was arms. Put that over there. Arms control, and Tiffany was still upset in my eyes, child. But what you think about the category in the arms lifting the chair? I thought it was a nice concept.
It was a nice concept. Tiffany was definitely over it by that point because I felt like
Definitely
she
over.
just started judging, like, okay, I'm gonna just give y'all, since y'all got said about my cheeks, I'm gonna just give y'all whatever. But I still think that she judged pretty fairly, I should say, because I
Yeah.
did think that the tens that she gave were, they were warranted. They did good in the arm control thing.
Yeah. Well, Balenciaga brought it home. I thought he did. I thought he did. I couldn't really figure out how to judge this, but what I can say is that
Hmm.
I noticed is that even though it was all about arms control. I feel like Balenciaga used a little bit more of their body, yeah, versus Garcon. If you look from the side view, you can see the Balenciaga representative kind of like moving around a little more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
one of them turned actually and
Balenciaga.
was pulling the thing. Okay, yeah. So yeah,
That's really what made him get him the edge um over Garcon. And I think that's
yeah,
what
I
Jamila
agree.
said that he saved that. So yeah, it was okay category. The next category I found to be interesting was Shake That Sex duo or whatever. So they had to they had to give like sexy, and then they had to twerk like at a tag battle. And Jupiter Balenciaga went out for the Balenciagas, and they chopped them. Somebody chopped them.
Yeah,
Who was it? What's her name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany chopped them. I didn't know if I agree with that. I thought he was
I didn't
selling
agree with
it.
it. I did too.
I mean,
I thought did
he
not think he should
wasn't.
have been chopped.
Yeah, he was selling it. Stasha went out. Of course, she was selling it. She didn't do a whole lot, but naturally she was exuding sex and she had body.
Yeah,
So I think she got it. Now I love me some Diego Mugler. However, I would have not. I would have chopped him before I chopped Jupiter because I feel like Jupiter sold it more.
yeah,
I feel like Mugler just came. Diego just came out was just like, y'all like me, y'all like me, and gave this little
yeah.
tie, little snake because it was not that great.
It wasn't.
And then yeah, so it ended up being the Garcons versus the Muglers, which then brought out Tati and Tonka, and I was like, oh Lord, Tonka. Uh, only
You
because
sound like Jay. Jay is over Tonka Town.
I've been over Tonka too since what episode was that when he did what was that? I don't know. I think it was the episode with the car, and it was like a car. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it's been a few episodes.
when he fell, when he slipped, I would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead on." I'm sorry, but Tati ate it up. She deserved it. Tonka really wanted twerking. They tried. They need to stop
No.
using talking the way they use Tonka. That's all I'm gonna say. They
Yeah,
really
I
trying to
agree.
use him, and it's like it never works out. Not saying because he's not talented, but because like they put him in the wrong situations, the wrong categories.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because he's big a plus size person does not mean he should be out there twerking. Like that's not they use that. No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they definitely use it they try to use it to their
They
advantage, and it
try.
doesn't
It does
work
not
out.
work. It does not work. But they learned because they end up being in a battle. In the final battle, it was Honey versus Savion. I was like, okay, come on, Savion. I know Savion actually, so I was excited to see this, but I was really excited to see Honey. Because I was like, okay, Honey, finally. I always knew that once Balenciaga went into a battle, they were going to choose Honey. So, what did you think about the battle?
I thought that it was. So I'm not familiar with any of the Garcons when it comes to voguing. As far as like
Yeah,
who
I was
would be the
interested.
person to be.
I thought it'd be
Yeah.
Milan, actually.
So when they chose, I did too. So when they chose Savion, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And again, I'm not really familiar with Savion as a voguer.
Yeah.
I'm more so, familiar with him as sex hiring. So I thought it was just an interesting battle. But I will say that I did say when they announced who was going to do it, Stasha played the game because she definitely used the words, I'm picking Savion because it's all about the passion. So it was almost like she was trying to sell it like, I know he not going to do, what needs to be done, but he passionate, so y'all need to vote because y'all like this whole passionate BS. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Honey did what needed to be done, like I knew that she would, and that was it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, passion and work in their favor this week, honey, because there is no way that they should have gave it to Savion. I'm sorry. I mean, they said that Honey didn't give the best performance. I do feel like that he could have did better, but I thought that he swept the flow with what's his name. I feel like he hurt himself. I don't know. I be watching Honey, and Honey is not at the top of his game as he used to be. I feel like I don't know.
She she could be still, going through kind of
I
like a
will say yes.
PTSD thing, still
That's
going
true.
through stuff.
I
You
definitely
know,
think that she's going through something because something just seems off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same Honey that we saw do the little villains battle last season, or the Honey that I follow on IG. I wasn't getting that, so I'm gonna say it's because of was it his sister that passed or
I
who was
think
it?
sister.
Sister. Okay, so basically because of the death in his family, I think that he's going through something. and it's coming
Yeah.
out. You know, just she's
Yeah.
not
Even
using
in
it in the way to. Go ahead, my bad, my bad. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say even in the way that I feel like she's been a little more harshly critiqued or paid attention to. I
Yeah,
feel like her leaving and coming back, the judges have been on some, just weird vibe to her. So I mean, it just all
I
could
agree.
be a mixture of, a mixture of that, a mixture of just the pressure of the competition in general. But yeah, I've definitely noticed that Honey is not or has not been on her game the way I'm used to her being on her game. But all in all, she still delivered the performance
Agree.
because you
Agree.
can't. I mean, at the end of the day, she's talented as hell. You can't take that away from her.
Right.
And I think that also too that she may not have went as hard because she probably didn't feel like she needed to.
That's true, child. She was just an Savior, no shade.
Yeah, that's just how I felt.
So she wins the battle. Everybody voted for Honey with the exception of Law. Law said Savion. But when okay, so basically this is what you were talking about earlier, where what's her name? Laomi
Laomi.
was talking about how Honey had an ego and was just letting it get in the way and being like, kind of being like a bitch or whatever. Or at least that was the aura that Laomi was getting. And so this is what Tiffany was like, oh, I don't understand that. And then, what's his name? Law was just like, no, this is Ballroom to Ballroom. I'm like, it ain't been Ballroom to Ballroom this whole damn season. So let's not add that now. Because Tiffany right here.
Right.
But like I said, that is that is her. I mean, sorry, that is her stylist. So I feel like in this moment, he probably was doing all the things he wanted to do because he can't do behind the scenes. I really feel like Tiffany would probably let his ass have it in the you know what I'm saying,
Probably
as a
so.
client. Um, but do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I didn't really care for Law, like you said, shushing her. At the end of the day, if you want to know stuff, you have to ask questions. And Tiffany is not a part of ballroom. So I felt like the question was a good question. Like, explain to me what you're talking about. It didn't feel like it was an out of pocket question because I also didn't really understand why Laomi even gave Honey that. She was in a battle. Like, what did you want her to do? Did you want Honey to be up there smiling?
Yeah,
And what I just didn't understand what they wanted from Honey in that moment or what Laomi wanted from Honey in that moment. So
yeah.
I didn't think it was fair to come at her with that whole, drop your ego and all that. At the end of the day, why would Honey not feel like she's that bitch if she felt like she that bitch?
Well, I feel like she was saying that because she didn't, the performance was not up to standard of what she thought that Honey could deliver, and that
Hmm.
basically, like what you said, she felt like she didn't have to do all of that because who she was against. So if you felt like that, if you have a feeling, I think what Laomi's saying is relevant because that's basically what she was saying, like your ego, because that's an ego by saying like, okay, well I ain't gotta give it all because I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna half step, and I feel like they just wanted. I mean, she was giving it, but even I felt like she could have gave better. And if what you
Okay.
saying is true, if she did feel like I'm not gonna give it all because it's just Savion or whatever, I'm not against anybody great, then that's the ego. That's saying that I got the, and there's nothing wrong with feeling like that. But I think in a competition, clearly they want you to just want it. They want you to be out crying for. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they
Yeah.
give off. And some reality is some folks don't give all that. I mean, some people just don't.
Yeah.
The Muglears didn't
Yeah.
give that, and that's why they gave them issues. But apparently, on this show, you have to give that, otherwise, they're gonna think that you don't want
Yeah. Okay.
it. And
Look,
that's
I
not.
I can
I don't
respect
think that's
that.
fair to think, but I think that's where Leon was coming from. I didn't think she had to go
Yeah.
in so deep on the girl. I feel like they've already went in on Honey so much. It's like, girl, like at this
Yeah.
point, are y'all picking at her? It's a
Yeah.
competition. Who
That's
wants to be
that's what I
competing?
said.
Yeah, who wants to be competing and then having to constantly prove your individual self to the judges? Like that's difficult. So I think
Yeah.
they need to lay off Honey in general. But yeah, as far as what's her name, as far as Tiffany, I get what she was trying to do, but I think also by questioning Laomi's score or her thing, it's kind of like I don't know. I don't think it was the right place and time. but they also questioned her. So maybe she was just like, well, bitch, I'm gonna question them.
Right. Very tit for tat.
Very much so. So I see all the sides. I don't whatever. I think Naomi could have held back a little bit, but whatever. Maybe because I just really like Honey. And so basically, they stay. The Garstones go home, and that's it for them. And then we go to the season finale. Now you said Balenciaga, and I said Mugler, and here they are in the final two. This one was the something 5,000 balls, like a futuristic ball, I believe, and they basically had to give like a grand house performance, with that theme. Um, did you have any initial thoughts about the performance, and then Deshaun performing, and then BB Rex? So do we got to talk about any of that stuff? Because I don't think it's really relevant.
Man, we ain't got to talk about it, but I will say shout out to Deshaun because he
Yeah,
launched
well,
his house.
Deshaun, yes, yes.
So I thought that was pretty dope, and I thought it was a great performance from a great performer. And I also want to shout out to Deshaun too because he has a great voice. Like I was really just paying
I
attention to
love
his
him.
voice. Yeah, I really like him a lot, and his voice is so perfect. So, um, yeah, shout out to Deshaun. I'm really proud of him and happy for the launch of his house. I enjoyed Megan's performance of Body with the Muglers and with the Balenciagas, and I liked how they, came out and did that little performance. I thought it was cute. I'll touch on the BB Rexa thing just for the sake of the past contestants. They were able to participate. They looked like real professional dancers to me. I wasn't paying attention to the song or BB outside of her hips. She looked good, but I wasn't paying attention that much. But I was definitely paying attention to to the other contestants. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that part of it. It was unnecessary, but I guess they needed to do something. So I liked it. It was
It's
whatever.
the Yeah, it's the finale. I expect more from finales, and I didn't really get that. Megan, I mean, let's just be clear. Body Yada Yada is like so old now, so I was not interested. No shade, the dance, all of that. I
We
just
didn't see
wasn't.
the child.
We didn't see it. I know this was filmed a minute ago, but still, I just me. Deshaun, yes, loved it. I did not know that was his house. So now knowing that,
Yeah.
when they said it, I didn't even know it was him until I stopped it and went back. I was like, and I'm like, oh, that's him. So of course I love to see him because he's actually really, really, really good.
Yes.
He's like he's not. I don't know if I want to say he's up to Naomi's way, but he's very legendary as she is too. And so yeah,
They're
I
both.
enjoyed it.
I want to say that they're both icons.
Okay. Okay. Well then, yeah. In that case, yeah. 'Cause I know he also has like they both teach like Vogue overseas and stuff too. I believe so.
hmm And they
Kudos to
both
them.
did Vogue. They both did Vogue Evolution on
Yes.
America's Best Dance Crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, their accolades and their time that they put into ballroom needs to be respected, needs to be appreciated. I love, like I said, I shout out to them. They have because I want to say Laomi's house is House of Amazon or something like that. I believe. I'm not sure, so don't quote me. But yeah, they both are just in their zone, and I love that they've come so far and are doing what they do now, doing what they love to do.
I agree. I completely agree. So the first team in house was the Balenciagas. They
hmm
did their final group performance, and what did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was a great performance. I loved the music. I loved they were to me they were precise. They were together. I loved the look. To me, this may have been my best performance from them, but not my favorite. But it was up there. But I thought that it was a really good performance.
Okay, so I liked it. I put it was the cleanest they've ever been, the most cohesive they've ever been.
They were very clean.
And I thought it was one of their best. I
hmm
can't remember what their best. Well, oh, their best to me was probably give me more, more, give me more. From them. You remember that the
Is
candy
that the one
girl?
where Shannon was rising up and they did the little? Was that one?
Oh no, no shit. That's my favorite one.
That's yeah, that's my
Is that the
favorite
same
one.
one? Not so that's That's two different
Give Me
performances.
More was the yeah, it is. Give Me More was the one after that.
Okay, so my favorite one is that one, the when she was rising up and the music slowed.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
one.
They gave that to me.
Look, that one was
I
everything.
forgot about. I'm like, how I forget? Because yeah, but give me more, and then this one will probably be tied as like the second best to me.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked it. I thought they did well. Um, it was Honey with a little cut for me. I like she had her real hair.
I
I
like
love that
that
little
too.
cut, little AM Flukes hair. So I liked it, and they seemed like they didn't give scores, but it seemed like they all were thinking that they were getting some nice scores, from the performance. So that
Yeah.
was good. Then we had the Miyake Muglears, and they did this. I didn't really see what their look was. I didn't realize they were actually purple. I thought that they were red or like it was just the lighting. But then at the end, I was like, oh, they like really like purplish red or whatever that is. Um,
Hmm.
and one thing I want to say about them, I hate that they say like, I don't know when y'all turned it on, but y'all turned it on at some point. The Muglears have always been good. They have always been good.
Yes.
Now, were they appreciated? No, they were not. I feel like they have always been overlooked in terms of being really good up until Tishi left. It's unfortunate, but I feel like when Tishi
Yeah.
left, or right before when the one that before Tishi left, like right after they were in the bottom, they started to see them more. But when Tishi left, they got their flowers, and they deserve
Yeah.
flowers way before. I'm sorry, that sloth performance I said all the time was very good. They were clean. It was
Yeah.
everything. But anyway, Muglears, I thought they had really good moments. I thought they were very good. They incorporated all the elements of Vogue, and I love the look. Your thoughts?
I love the look. It
Yeah,
wasn't my favorite. It was still a great performance. It wasn't my favorite out of the two
yeah.
of them and the Balenciagas. I thought the Balenciagas definitely outperformed them as a whole, but I still enjoyed it. I thought that the look was really good.
Hmm.
I'm really obsessed with Arturo. I love, it's
Me too.
something about,
Me
he
too.
has like a really good finishing touch to all of their performances. It's almost like he's the secret weapon that the Garcons want Tonka to be.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel about Arturo. Like he always shows up and shows up the right way. Like it always makes sense. So I just really love that aspect of the Muglears. Um, as far as this performance goes, it was just okay for me.
Okay. Child,
Yeah, it
child.
wasn't a
You
hundred.
see
It
the
wasn't
Muglears and
the 100K performance.
were either one of them 100K? Now, if Tisha had been
I
there,
mean,
Tisha would have
out
gave
of the
us
two,
200K.
look, they definitely would have. Yeah, I guess I'm just saying out of the two,
Yeah.
neither were necessarily
Neither
100K
I was gonna
performances,
say
but
neither
yeah,
neither one of them was like, bitch, that fucking slave.
yeah,
The Muglears, the last two episodes, yes. The Tishis, every episode they were there, yes.
yeah,
But I agree. This
exactly.
this was not. Neither one of them was like okay. So BB Rexter, we talked about that already. The final battle was 5 elements of Vogue, and they had to go
Hmm.
one-on-one battles. So the first was hand, um, and it was Khalik versus Atoro. And honestly, I thought that they was gonna give it to Khalik,
They did give it to Khalid.
but they didn't. Oh, my bad, my bad. Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry. At first, I thought Khalik, and then when they started giving scores, Atoro got scores, and I was like, oh wait, they giving him, they like him too. But I feel like Atoro was kind of tired. I feel like he got a little tired. I like that he was
Yeah,
kind of switching it up, but realistically, Khalik was like doing circles
yeah.
around him
Khalid
from
had the
beginning to end.
energy. Yeah,
Yes.
like it was like a consistent, thorough thing. Like Khalid, what they
Yeah.
say, understood the assignment.
Yeah. I agree. And then Duck Walk was Shannon versus Shannon versus Malik. And I love how
Baby.
he was just like, how Law was just like, she not gonna do that in this dress if she if she did it in the dress. I'm
I
like,
thought that
Lord.
it was such a cute moment for Shannon, but yeah, it was not. I mean, when they announced who was battling, I already knew that Malik was gonna win. But I just thought it was cute to watch Shannon in the dress, be
Shannon
extra as
took the
hell.
first time you remember she duck walked in the episode we liked the most, performance.
Yes.
She took that little duck walk and said, "You know, I'm gonna do it again because they liked it the first time." And no, honey, it only worked the first time.
No, it only worked the first time. Love you, Shannon, but yes,
Yes, but I love the bravery. I love she went out there and was like, "Listen, I'm gonna go ahead." But had I don't know what category she could have did, so I guess duck walk was probably the best category for her to do
Yeah.
in order to get, you know what I'm saying, because she would have lost really all of these categories. I don't
Hello.
think she would have won any of these categories. She could have maybe did hands, but against the Toro, no, she would have lost. So yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Shannon. Shannon
Mm-mm.
just, I think that's what held them back a little bit, just because Shannon is good, but the whole house of Mugler has some people they can put in for something. Um,
Yeah.
so this one, the next one was Catwalk, and it was Diego versus Jupiter. Um, I honestly think the Muglers have the best catwalk in general. They've done so many
I agree.
catwalks in their performances to where I was like, it don't matter who they send out because they all can do
Yeah.
it. Diego slayed. I thought he did good.
I
Jupiter
do
felt
too.
like because he had on heels that he should have got the point, the score, but
It
realistically,
wasn't. It
no, I'm
wasn't
sorry.
given.
Heels, right. It wasn't walking heels, honey. It wasn't all American runway or whatever it was. It was catwalk. And you chose to wear heels. Maybe you should have worn some flats.
Yeah. I
And maybe
agree.
you, because
Diego did what needed to be done.
I loved it. And when he won, he was just like, damn. I was like, go, babe. Why am I basing over here? Floor performance. So floor performance was Honey versus Rich. Not Rich.
Prince.
Prince. My
Like
bad. It's getting.
Rich.
I'm reading something else. Honey versus Prince. And I'm just gonna say Honey. Child. Honey swept that damn floor with a cootie cat with that little cut. I mean, I was just like, is this whitefish? Like it was very
Listen.
sickening.
And,
I was
and
like,
honey a little thick too.
I know. I was looking like, come on. I live. I didn't think for 1 minute that Prince had it. I knew that it was effortless, honey. She was just all over the place, lit, so fluent, so like it. If I wanted to learn how to, go to like a exotic dancing class, I would go to Honey's class because it was definitely giving effortless sex. I live.
I agree.
And I think they all agreed with that. They gave it to her. It wasn't talk. It wasn't nothing to debate.
Law voted for her. I was like, okay.
I know, right? I was like, at this point, thank God, give this girl her flowers. Y'all didn't sat here and drug her to the mud for 2 episodes. I'm sick of it. And then the final category was spins and dips, which was Tati versus. Give me the name. I
Cha
give you the
cha.
name. Cha Cha. I love Cha Cha has actually won many categories for Balenciaga. Actually,
Yes, she
she
has.
actually has kept them out of the bottom many times. Um, and I thought they was gonna win, but they gave it to Tati. Tati actually ate.
Hmm.
Tati was
She did.
Tati gave you real ballroom battle, like it's hot, it's sweaty. She wanted to win. Tati ate. Ponytail came off,
Yes.
and even when
Listen,
it was
ponytail came
over,
off.
even when it
She
was
still was
over,
selling
she
it.
was still. The guy, I was like, go! Like I think
Look, I
that's
was
what
looking. I
Leon.
say, is her ponytail on?
Right. That's what Leon be want to see. Like I know that every time we see stuff like that, Law's like, "This is ballroom, girl. You don't even know." Like, I don't take it seriously coming from him. But when Leomi, like, that's what Leomi wants to see. I think that is like that's when you really bring in the true essence of ballroom, and I feel like Tati sold it. That was that
I agree.
they both did a good job, but Tati started off a little slow, but towards the end she built up and boom, she brought it home.
Yeah.
And when all the scores were tallied, child, we had the Muglers. The Muglers were the winners. And, I said this. I know you said the Balenciagas. I don't see you wearing your shirt today. However, I'm happy that they won. I'm happy. Like, I think that they truly deserved it. I would have loved it to have been the Muglers versus the Tishis, honestly. I think that would have been a great battle. I like the Balenciagas. But I think if the Tishis were still here, there would not be any Balenciagas.
It definitely would have been a better battle between the two of the Muglairs and the Tishis, and I think it would have been more of a
You think so? I think
yeah.
battle wise, I think it was good for what it was given. Cause we learned, I don't think Tishi is that great at battle. Like I don't think that they're
But
that good.
I think that they could have. We don't know really because we didn't really get to see them battle only besides that one time, and I think that Simone was just not the right choice to put out for the battle. But I feel like Gia probably could have battled. Something about Gia gives me she could battle and she can get
Well, she
out
can't.
there.
Well, she can't do. Can't. Was it runway? Cause she didn't do good in that when she did it.
Well, you know, in the last battle they gonna bowl. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
I
Gia
think
probably could have really
Dro
gave
would have
her.
gave us a good battle. Dro would have gave us a good battle because Dro is really
Dro,
good.
definitely.
I love Dro. I follow Dro. I like Dro. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I go back and watch the body category, every once a week to see him and Diego because it
Yo
was good.
ass.
Whatever. But anyway, but with that being said, that's the end of the season. Like that's the end of it. They won. I'm sure they're gonna have another season, but once again, not the underdogs. I don't think Mugler were the underdogs. Last year, I would have said the story was underdogs takes the crown. This time, I
Yeah.
think it was slow and steady wins the race. I think that's
Yeah.
what they gave. They were consistent. I think it's unfortunate, but you really don't want to like peak. And I think the issue with Tishi is that they just went so high and they peaked to where it was like it's nothing they can do but come down. You know,
Yeah.
because it's gonna happen. You're gonna have an off week or a week where the judges just ain't feeling you, and that's what happens. And yeah, so how you feel about the result? Are you content? Are you happy? You think
I'm
the Mugs should have
content.
got
I'm
it?
content I'm content because I've always loved the Mugleiers. I did say from the beginning that they are one of my favorite houses ever. And I thought that they, like you said, slow and steady wins the race. They built up to where they got to a point to where it's like, okay, now we're gonna show you how to slide down the slide. And
Yeah,
they didn't play with it. I thought that they really did what needed to be done. And, in the beginning, they were not a overall favorite house from most people. So I thought that
yeah,
it showed that don't count anybody out really because you really just never know.
yeah. That's true.
So
That's
yeah, I loved it. I'm really really happy for them, and I love the house of Miyake Blair. So yeah, I'm happy for them. Very happy for them.
very happy. I will say like they're one of the houses that I actually know the entire house. I really wouldn't be like some of the houses like key people, but I feel like in this house they have really showcased their entire house.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You don't just know Arturo, you know Diego, you know Tati, you know what I'm saying? Like these people. So I think that they've done as I only mentioned three people.
but you
Yeah,
look,
I
don't be
said
forgetting Prince and Malik.
I said I didn't say I know, but you all
Look.
know. So yeah, I'm happy. That's the end of the season, and then that will conclude basically our reviews and discussions, child. Until there's another like legendary or another season or something like that. But it's been a good season. It's been quick. It ended really fast. I feel like when they gave us
hmm
these last two episodes in twos, or last four in twos, they kind of rushed it. But they did
hmm
right because they knew damn well by episode 7 we was gonna be pissed. And
Yeah, and over it.
honestly, the season Tishi carried it up until episode 7. I'm gonna say that they gave
Yeah,
us
they
some really
did.
good performances. Everybody else was up and down. We were watching for them. I feel like at least I was, and I liked other houses in the process. I liked the Muglers earlier. I think I said that many times, but I feel like this season overall, it didn't hold up the same weight as the last season. Is my opinion.
I agree.
Like last season, we didn't know those houses, but they were coming with something new and some. Well, I'm not saying we didn't know them. We didn't know them as much as we know these. These are some very,
Yeah,
known houses.
houses that's been around.
Been
Yeah.
around for a long time, and I feel like what made last season so special was that we really didn't know who game it was, and this season we thought it was somebody's game, and it turned out not to be. But
Yeah.
even then, it really should have been their game. I'm just gonna say that. So,
Well,
yeah, it's what it is. Congratulations, Miyake Bugler. I'm happy and proud for you, especially Diego. Follow me back.
I would love for before we conclude, I would love if they did like an all-star season and invited certain houses back.
Well, they would need they would need at least another season, I would say, after three.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because with two, I mean, you can pull. I mean, they got 20 houses to pull from. But I think after season three, they should probably look into doing that. But do you think people will want to watch that?
Yeah, I mean, it's something for us, so I think that people will get into it.
Mm. And do you think with All Stars they would bring back the members that were a part of the house while they were on the season, or they just bring back new members from the same house?
Now that's what will be I don't know.
I feel like with this, it's difficult. If you watch All Star shows, like Top Model did it, Drag Race do it, Project Runway. These are like individual people that we know, and you may know
Yeah,
the house, but it's hard to like. We don't really. I don't really remember half the people from the last season. Like there weren't many stand out. Like the other than the winner and like a few other people. What's her name that does the Beyonce impersonations? Like it's not
Michelle.
Michelle, and like although we love people like Savior and stuff like that, we're only gonna remember Stasha and maybe Tonka.
Yeah,
So I think that's what makes it hard to do All Stars. But I'm open to it. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It'll be interesting to see, But I think they
we'll
got to do
see.
better with highlighting individually who they are. Because honestly,
Yeah,
if they're not put into the battles often, you don't really know and learn their name like that. That's why I be thinking names myself. So yeah.
I agree. We'll
But
see.
it's a good idea. We definitely will see. I think it's definitely something to look into. Hopefully, the show don't go down like you said on Facebook about like the people going at it about it, child, and they get canceled. Hopefully, it stays with us. And when I say
Yeah,
us, I mean within our community and closer to our other community too. So
yeah,
because we need that, we need the kind of representation on both levels. So with
yeah.
that being said, we're going to lean out. You can. It's very late in Atlanta and it's getting very late in LA. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all things lean. Thank you, Chad, for doing this season with me, and more importantly, doing this tonight. Cause it's been
Absolutely.
it's been a great
Yes, I
time. We
loved
have
it.
dove into it, and I think we've gained like a lot of new subscribers and followers just from this show because it's new for the channel of the Lean. So until
Yeah.
next time, like, subscribe, comment, all things lean, and until then, we will see y'all later. Another show. Or just around the Instagram or on Facebook, where Chad gonna be getting on folks' nerves tomorrow about these damn female rappers. So, with that being said, good night.
Good night. We out.